Gundogan returns to Manchester City. Dovbyk's debut for Roma. What the Ukrainian and Dybala did yesterday. 2 new signings for Barcelona. Cristiano Ronaldo is shocked by conceding 4 goals in 17 minutes. Chelsea admitted they no longer know what to do with all their players. We are talking about this and much more today. This is a hot selection of the most interesting football news. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, click the bell, and like this video to get more news about our favorite game. Your support is very important to us. Let's get started. According to Sport EU, Barcelona intends to pull off a couple more transfers in this summer's transfer window. Or rather, what's left of it. And there's not much left. The new coach of the Blaugrana wants to see a new left-back and a defensive midfielder in the team. In Flick's opinion, these 2 positions need strengthening more than any others. Based on current news, the club is monitoring Reguilón from Tottenham. Perhaps not the best purchase if we're talking about strengthening the squad, but for squad depth, it'll do, as they say. As for the defensive midfielder, things are more complicated. Indeed, there are few worthy options, and those available are expensive. And as you know, Barca's finances are in dire straits. And yes, about defensive midfielders. Ilkay Gündogan wants to leave Barcelona, but that's not all. The German intends to return to Manchester City, and the citizens are not opposed to such a development. They supposedly would be happy if Ilkay plays for them again. Again, this is according to the press. But it seems it's not just talk, as Hansi Flick was quick to comment on this information. On Monday, he picked up a minor injury, so we decided to leave him at home. I spoke with him, I know him very well, and I appreciate him. I have a feeling that Ilkay will stay. Flick's words are quoted by A.S. So the possibility of his departure does exist, since Flick mentions some feelings. Of course, it would be funny if Gundogan played for the citizens again, and why not? As practice shows, he only gets better with age, like fine wine. Again, Guardiola values and appreciates Ilkay as a player, so who knows? What do you think about this? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Can the German still contribute to Manchester City? Cristiano was once again furious after Al Nassr's defeat. Last season, the Portuguese's team finished in 2nd place and earned the opportunity to play against champion Al Hilal for the Saudi Arabian Super Cup. The statistics favored the blue and white team. In the last 5 head-to-head meetings, they had beaten Al Nassr 4 times and drew once. However, Cristiano Ronaldo added intrigue to this duel. Just before halftime, he put his team ahead, which should have given them a psychological advantage over their opponent. Well, at least it should have. But the second half clearly showed who is currently the best club in Saudi Arabia. By the 72nd minute, Al Nassr was losing 1-4. Ronaldo was disappointed with his teammates' performance. After the 4th conceded goal, he stood in the center circle, shaking his head, indicating that the team's defense was simply asleep. As a result, in such a psychological state, Al Nassr didn't even try to attempt a comeback and lost the Super Cup. After the match, Ronaldo was furious and didn't want to stay for the award ceremony. He headed straight to the dressing room at the final whistle, refusing to accept the silver medal. Afterward, he likely went home to quickly get over yet another disappointment. Or perhaps he spoke with Al Nassr's management about the team's results. After the lost final, news emerged that the club is preparing to part ways with head coach Luis Castro. According to sources, Al Nassr has started looking for a new manager. No candidates have been named yet, but the Saudi club's management can afford to bring in a well-known coach. For example, Tuchel is currently unemployed and could lead Ronaldo's team to their first trophy in a long time, while earning a good salary. The combination of Tuchel and Ronaldo is an explosive mix. Raheem Sterling was not included in Chelsea's squad for the match against Manchester City, which his team duly lost 2-0. The press had already reported that the Englishman might leave the team this summer, and now the player's entourage has issued a statement on the matter. Sterling returned to England 2 weeks earlier to attend individual training and had a good preseason under the new coach, with whom he has established a good working relationship. Raheem is determined to perform at the highest level for Chelsea and the fans, whom he greatly values, and given his inclusion in the club's official pre-match materials this week, we expected Raheem to be involved in the match in some capacity this weekend. We have always had positive dialogue with Chelsea and assurance from the club regarding Raheem's future at the team. Therefore, we look forward to clarifying the situation as reported by the Daily Mail. Chelsea's head coach Enzo Maresca could not ignore this statement, and here's how he commented. I want to see all 30 players, but there's no room for all of them, so some must go. Maresca's words were quoted by journalist Nizar Kinsella. Whether Sterling is among those players is unclear, but the press reports that he could be swapped for Chiesa. The clubs have already discussed this, and Juventus head coach Thiago Motta confirmed in a recent interview that the club still does not count on his services. Our position on Federico Chiesa has not changed. He is not in our plans. As in general, Chelsea should first part with those they don't need. You know how they say, to buy something you need, you first need to sell something you don't. But the Blues are going a different way. The club has bought a mountain of players and then doesn't know what to do with them. This is where the problems begin. This Chelsea looks like a bunch of strangers thrown together. It's very difficult. You bring players off the bench trying to do something, but it will take Maresca a long time to get them to play the way he wants and find the best starting lineup. After all, they spent $1.2 billion and they still don't have a top striker, and I'm not even sure they have a good goalkeeper. Spending that much money and not filling two of the most important positions is at least strange, said former Liverpool midfielder Jamie Redknapp. And here we agree with him. Spending that much money and not filling the striker position is at least strange. Buying 8 goalkeepers and not one of them can be called, as they like to say now, top class. But that's Chelsea right now. Hence the team's results. The club clearly needs someone to structure all this. Without that, apparently, it won't work. Another forward who could be a good addition to Chelsea is Ivan Toney, or Tony as you prefer. Brentford announced that the player has been sidelined from the main team due to a possible transfer. There is some transfer interest, and because of this, we decided not to involve him today. Ivan is a top player. He has been fantastic for us over the past 4 years, but we also showed, especially last year, that we can win without him, said Brentford's head coach, Thomas Frank. There are rumors that he may continue his career in Saudi Arabia, at Al Ahly, who are reportedly ready to pay him up to €20 million per season. Again, as mentioned earlier, Toney could fit well into Chelsea. It's certainly not the best option, much like Osimhen, but given the current situation, it's not bad at all. Moreover, it seems that Brentford has slightly lowered their financial demands for the striker. Previously, the press reported that they wanted to get $100 million for him, despite his market value being only $50 million. According to recent reports, the club is now ready to part with Ivan for $60 million, which is quite realistic. So if you look at it, Chelsea has options and more than one. The Blues just need to offload the dead weight already in the team and focus on buying 2 or 3 well-known players, instead of spreading themselves thin on 8 random goalkeepers and, as Redknapp said, strangers. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to our channel right now and hit the notification bell, so you'll be in the know about all the news from every corner of the football universe. And while you do all that, we'll keep going. This summer, Roma is conducting a powerful transfer campaign. The Romans have significantly strengthened their squad ahead of the season. The team has acquired young winger Matthias Soulé from Juventus, midfielder Enzo Lefebvre from Rennes, defender Angeliño from RB Leipzig, and, of course, last season's La Liga top scorer, Artem Dovbyk. But the Wolves don't plan to stop there. They want to sign a couple more players before the transfer window closes. One of them could be JérémieBoga from Nice. The Ivorian once played in the Italian league. I remember how strong a winger he seemed when playing for Sassuolo. Then came a move to Atalanta, where his career took a downturn. Eventually, the winger ended up at Nice, where he performed well as a semi-regular player. Now he may return to SerieA. According to journalist Gianluca Di Marzio, the player himself has already agreed to move to Roma. Now it's up to the clubs. If they can agree on transfer terms, the move could happen as early as this week. At the same time, 2 players may leave Rome. I talked about Paulo Dybala in the last episode. The Argentine is set to move to Saudi Arabia to secure a comfortable retirement. Tammy Abraham could follow a similar path. Journalist Nicholas Shearer reports that an unnamed Middle Eastern club is ready to pay €20 million for the forward. Roma is not opposed to parting with the Englishman for that amount. Overall, the last weeks of the transfer window will be active. Roma will certainly buy and sell some players, but judging by the first match of the Romans in Serie A, I can say they definitely need more reinforcements, especially in creativity. If Paulo Dybala leaves, I have bad news for Roma fans. His appearance brightened the match against Cagliari. Together with Dovbyk, they finally began to create danger at the opponent's goal, and the Ukrainian, having such a great partner, played in a completely new way. He was close to opening the score several times, even hitting the crossbar once. But in the end, the game ended in a goalless draw. That's all for today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video, and be sure to watch our previous video. It just appeared before your eyes right now. See you. Good luck to everyone. Goodbye.